Punisher and Spider-Man have the coolest relationship in the MCU. It's way better than Iron Man and Spider-Man. The Iron Man and Spider-Man relationship I thought was one of the most one-sided and weakest relationships, and even Marvel Studios tried to hype it up, especially in Endgame when they hugged each other again and shit. I'm like, Tony just uses this kid. What the fuck? He don't really care about him like that. Cause and this is why I say he don't give a fuck. Frank gives a fuck about Peter. Let's make this clear. If Tony gave a fuck about Peter, he would have never, ever blackmailed a little boy into trying to join him in Civil War. He blackmailed Peter. There's a reason Peter webbed up Tony's hand when he tried to open up that door. Tony was serious. And we know Tony is bold. This is the same Tony that pissed off the Mandarin and told them, yeah, come do something to me. And guess what happened to his mansion? The idiot almost got Pepper killed and other people killed because he thought he was hot stuff and that, he's untouchable. He's untouchable. Tony is bold enough he was going to tell Aunt May, if he's willing to call out a terrorist organization and almost get Pepper and them killed because he want to be on some macho shit, he was gonna go tell Aunt May, yeah, your kid's Spider-Man. You need to put a stop to it. He's Spider-Man. Just ruin his whole thing, And Peter, during the fight during Civil War, guess what? After he helped out in that battle, Tony told him go home. So why'd you bring him? So you talking about all this? You're going to mentor him. You want to show him, the ropes. You want to help him be better, and you bring him here, and then you just tell him leave, because he didn't tell that to Vision. He didn't tell that to anybody else who was on his side in that scene. He didn't say y'all go home. I got this. He told him. So why'd you bring him if you're not going to respect him and include him? Homecoming. Another reason I don't like the Iron Man and Spider-Man relationship. Peter was genuinely wanted a mentor. Tony is one of the worst mentors I've ever seen in fiction. He is trash at it. He was bad at it. The fact he even tried to bring Peter under his wing was a joke. There's not one scene in Homecoming where they're like working on tech together, building something to better humanity. There's none of that happens in Homecoming. You would think Tony Stark, who's also a genius inventor, he meets Peter, who's also a very smart kid who wants to build things and make the world a better place. He's not showing him, like, doing workshops with him, doing that stuff. Like, come on. Also, there's not one scene where Tony in Homecoming is showing Peter, like, hey, how to be a hero. They're not at a crime scene investigating together. There's not a scene where they fight enemies together. There's not even a scene where they're doing a stakeout together. None of that. But Frank in this film with Peter was beautiful, because their relationship was how an actual relationship is supposed to go. Whether you're friends, romantic, whatever, you have to both give and take and compromise. You can't give all the time, and the other person can't take all the time. You both need to balance it out and do it back and forth. Compromise. Tony's relationship with Peter was one-sided. Very much one-sided. With Frank and Peter, it feels like a little brother, big brother relationship. And what makes this dynamic is so good is that the little brother, Peter, brings so much joy to the big brother that he helps the big brother figure out how to be human again. Peter just being Peter is helping Frank be a better person by Peter just doing what Peter's supposed to do. Be Peter. Act like you. Be you. That's it. He didn't do that much to help Frank, but just being Peter helped out Frank. All Tony Stark did, and this is just the truth, where Peter is at now is kind of the fault of Tony. Peter would have not been at that point where he is going to Doctor Strange, asking him to make wishes and stuff and all that junk. Yeah, maybe he would have been there in Infinity War. Maybe. But the whole situation would be totally different. At that point, he would have probably met Tony Stark for the first time. for the first time. Because the Thanos was going to attack at that point anyways. So that would have been their first time meeting. But they met in Civil War. And Tony got Peter into all this extra stuff. Peter just wanted to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And now Peter, no one remembers Peter. His life is shit now. He's lonely. He has to rebuild relationships. He has to make new relationships. But once everybody forgot him, he's officially lonely. No one knows you or cares about you. And no one even is going... The Avengers don't even remember him yet. They remember Spider-Man, but they don't remember him. They don't remember that this Peter Parker chose to go up into space, fight alongside the Avengers. They just know Spider-Man did that. They don't know that Peter Parker did that. He don't even get a lot of recognition. But now he's at a point where his life is kind of in a shitty state. No one remembers him. That is sad. As a human, and we as humans like to socialize, that shit is sad as fuck. It's sad. But all that is kind of Tony's fault. Peter would have not been in Civil War if Tony didn't try to blackmail him and coerce him into joining their team and then telling him to leave. And then, like I say, in Homecoming, Tony was just an overall bad mentor. He sucked shit. He sucked ass. I don't know why he even took him under his wing, but Tony is more so a user at times. Like, everyone on his crew in Civil War, they knew they should have been on Cap's side. Like, we're going to sit here and sign these documents and put these restrictions on us by these governments? What? And really, Tony was the only one that should be signing those papers. You built Ultron, you dummy. Technically, Tony's supposed to be in prison. Tony should have been in prison after that Ultron shit. Like, at least Daredevil went to prison, which is something I actually like to see. Like in Daredevil Born Again, when he went to prison after exposing his identity and doing what he did, he still went to prison, and he's sitting in there and accepting his fate. Is it fair? Is it right? No. But, you know, he broke the law. You can't be a vigilante. Is that law right? Is it wrong? I don't know. That's up to people. But at the end of the day, he willingly sat up in that prison. Mind you, he didn't have to. He could have went on the run. But Tony Stark got exempt from that Ultron shit and didn't even go to prison. And this dude had the audacity to think Wanda needs to be caged up. You need to be caged up too, Tony. Shit, you Doctor Doom now. The fuck? This nigga Doctor Doom. This nigga is Doctor Doom now. So he ended up just becoming the big villain of it all. Damn. Crazy. But yeah, Frank and Peter, that shit was beautiful. And them arguing back and forth, like, when you argue with somebody like that, it's not to say that that's a beneficial way to talk, but the way they were arguing, they fuck with each other. They fuck with each other tough. That's just how they get through shit. And then once they finished arguing, they locked in and handled business. Peter said, I got Hulk. All right, you go after the girl. Don't shoot her, but you just don't shoot her. But they went and they locked in. They went and did what they needed to do. You know? With Peter and Tony, it wasn't that. It was, oh yeah, and the last thing I will say about Tony too, which I don't like. When he showed up, talking about, you know, you're being reckless, you don't need this suit. Nigga, why'd you give him the suit? You knew he would. You know he's a teenager, and you gave him the suit, and you gonna get mad at him for being curious about the suit. He's a teenager. You gave him a suit with a kill mode on it and all that, and you over acting just tripping. Dummy. As an adult, you should know not to give a child something that they're not ready to handle. Dummy. Fuck Tony Stark, bro. Shouts out Frank and Peter.